Good morning, everyone. I want to start with a truth we often overlook. Character is not what we say, but what we do when no one's watching. It's not in the carefully curated words, the polished resume, or the perfect social media post. True character is revealed in the small, unguarded moments of life. So if you really want to know someone, not just the version they present, but who they are at their core, just notice 5 things. All right, friends, before we dive in, let's take a quick moment for something important. If you find value in these conversations, if they challenge you, encourage you, or make you think a little differently, then go ahead and hit that like button. It's a small gesture, but it makes a big difference. And while you're at it, subscribe, because we're just getting started and I don't want you to miss what's coming next. You know that little bell icon? Tap that too. That way you'll always know when there's something new waiting for you, something that might just be exactly what you needed to hear that day. And finally, if this message resonates with you, share it. Share it with a friend, a colleague, or someone who might need a little encouragement today, because the best conversations don't just stay with us. They ripple outward, they spark change, and they create connection. All right, let's get into it. We've all seen it, the way some people light up around those who hold influence, who can offer them something, who have power or prestige. They shake hands a little firmer, laugh a little louder, nod a little more eagerly. But then when the person in front of them is someone they perceive as unimportant, someone who can't advance their career, boost their reputation, or give them an advantage, the warmth fades, the eye contact disappears, and the tone. But here's the truth. How someone treats those who can't do anything for them tells you everything about their character. It's easy to be kind when there's something to gain. It's easy to be generous when there's a return on investment. But the real test of who we are isn't in how we treat our boss, our clients, or the people we admire. It's in how we treat the waitress who refills our coffee, the cashier who rings up our groceries, the janitor who cleans our office when we've already gone home. It's in how we treat the people society often overlooks, the ones who may never be able to repay a favor or sing our praises in return. Because kindness, respect, and decency should never be transactional. And they should never be reserved for a select few. The way someone engages with those in positions of service, the way they speak to a stranger in passing, the way they acknowledge or ignore the humanity in another person, this is the rawest, most unfiltered reflection of their heart. There is something profoundly revealing about watching a person in these everyday moments. Do they say thank you with sincerity? Do they acknowledge the person behind the counter? Or do they look past them as if they are invisible? Do they treat everyone, regardless of their status, as worthy of dignity and respect? The truth is, no act of kindness is ever wasted. The way we treat others, especially those we don't need, is not just a reflection of them, but of us. It's a statement about who we are, what we value, and how deeply we understand that every human being matters. Failure and disappointment are inevitable. No matter how talented, prepared, or well-intentioned we are, life has a way of humbling us. Plans unravel, opportunities slip away, and expectations go unmet. The true test of a person's character isn't found in their victories, but in how they respond when things don't go their way. Some people, when faced with failure, immediately look for someone to blame. It's the economy, it's their boss, it's bad luck, it's someone else's fault. They shift responsibility outward, avoiding any ownership of what went wrong. Others, when confronted with disappointment, sink into bitterness. They let resentment take root, allowing frustration to turn into cynicism. Instead of learning and growing, they build walls of defensiveness, convinced the world is against them. Then there are those who face failure with humility and resilience. They don't hide from it, they don't deny it, and They don't let it define them. They pause, reflect, and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I be better next time? They don't make excuses, and they don't let setbacks erode their self-worth. Instead, they use failure as a stepping stone, not a weight that drags them down, but a lesson that lifts them up. You see, failure isn't just an event, it's a mirror. It reflects who we truly are when things don't go our way. Do we react with anger, blaming the world? Do we crumble under the weight of disappointment? Or do we stand back up, take responsibility, and move forward with wisdom and grace? The strongest people are not those who have never failed. They are the ones who have failed, fallen hard, and still found the courage to rise. They don't fear mistakes because they know that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey to it. Their character is revealed in the quiet moments after a setback, in the decision to try again, to own their mistakes, and to walk forward with a heart still open to possibility. It's easy to admire someone when they're winning, but if you really want to know their character, watch what they do when they lose. That is where their true strength or weakness will be revealed. The way someone talks about others when they're not in the room is one of the clearest windows into their character. Words have power, not just to describe, but to define. They reveal our values, our insecurities, and the way we see the world. When a person speaks about others with kindness, fairness, and integrity, even when there's no one to impress, it says everything about who they are. But when they tear others down, speak with cruelty, or spread gossip, it reveals something just as significant. Gossip is seductive. It makes us feel important, as if we hold secret knowledge that gives us power. It can be entertaining, a way to bond over shared opinions and judgments, but at its core, gossip is a form of betrayal. It diminishes the person being spoken about, and it diminishes the one speaking as well. Because if someone eagerly talks behind another person's back, you can be certain they do the same when you're not around. Think about the last time you heard someone speak poorly of a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger. Did their words feel rooted in truth and concern, or do they feel laced with bitterness, jealousy, or the need to elevate themselves by bringing someone else down? People of strong character don't engage in careless criticism. They don't feel the need to assassinate reputations to build their own. Instead, they understand that their words are a reflection of themselves, not just the people they're talking about. There is something deeply admirable about a person who protects the dignity of others, even when it would be easy to destroy it. The person who refuses to participate in gossip, who speaks with kindness even when they disagree, who chooses honesty over exaggeration and integrity over slander, that is someone you can trust. That is someone whose character stands firm, not swayed by the momentary pleasure of tearing someone else down. It's not just about avoiding negative talk. It's also about how we lift people up when they aren't around to hear it. Do we celebrate their successes? Do we acknowledge their strengths? Do we defend their name when they can't defend it themselves? Because the way we speak about others, even in private, is a reflection of our own values. A person's true nature is revealed not just in how they act, but in how they speak when they think no one is listening. And the strongest, most trustworthy people are the ones whose words remain as kind, as respectful, and as full of integrity in private as they are in public. True character is not built in public, it's revealed in private. It's not in the grand gestures or the carefully crafted moments when the world is watching. It's in the small, quiet choices we make when there is no audience, no applause, and no expectation of recognition. Many people behave well when they know they're being observed. They show kindness when it's socially expected, work hard when a boss is evaluating them, and act with integrity when the consequences of dishonesty are. But the real test of who we are happens in the moments when no one is around to see. Do we still choose to do the right thing when there is no reward for it? Do we still honor our commitments when there's no accountability? Do we still treat others with kindness when there's no benefit to us? Think about someone who picks up trash in a public space, not because anyone will thank them, but simply because they care. Think about the person who stays late to finish a task, not for credit or recognition, but because they believe in doing a job well. Consider the one who gives anonymously, helps quietly, and does good in the world without announcing it. That is the kind of character that speaks volumes, not in words, but in actions. Then there are those who wear masks in public but behave differently when no one is watching. They follow the rules when someone is enforcing them, but cut corners when they believe they can get away with it. They are polite when there is something to gain, but dismissive or rude when they think no one important is paying attention. They preach honesty, but lie when it's convenient. This contrast between their public and private selves reveals more about them than anything they say. What we do in the dark always finds its way to the light. Even if no one else ever sees, we know. We carry the weight of our own choices, and over time, those choices shape us, either into someone we respect or someone we struggle to look at in the mirror. The people with the strongest character don't need an audience to do the right thing. They don't need praise to be kind, and they don't need consequences to stay honest. They act with integrity because it's woven into the fabric of who they are, not just because it's expected of them. So if you want to know the truth about someone, don't just look at how they behave in front of others. Pay attention to what they do when no one is watching, because that is where their real character lives. Power doesn't change people, it reveals them. Give someone a little authority, a little influence, a little control, and you will see their true character unfold. Some will rise with humility, using their power to serve, uplift, and protect. Others will let it consume them, using it to manipulate, control, and elevate themselves at the expense of others. Power itself is not inherently good or bad. It is simply a magnifying glass, exposing the deepest truths about a person's values, priorities, and integrity. Look at how someone acts when they are in a position of power, no matter how big or small. It doesn't have to be a CEO, a politician, or a billionaire. It can be a shift manager at a restaurant, a captain of a sports team, a teacher in a classroom, or even a parent in a household. Watch how they handle the responsibility that comes with leadership. Do they use their position to inspire and support others, or do they use it to intimidate and control? Do they lead with fairness and wisdom, or do they demand obedience out of fear? Some people, when given power, forget where they came from. They once knew what it was like to be at the bottom, to struggle, to feel unheard. But the moment they rise, they erase that memory. They become the very thing they once despised. They dismiss the struggles of those beneath them, believing that their success is purely a result of their own merit and that others should just work harder rather than be given grace. This is one of the most dangerous effects of power. It creates distance. It builds an illusion that those in power are fundamentally different from those without it. Then there are those who never let power change their heart. They remember what it was like to be overlooked, underestimated, or struggling, and they use their position to bridge the gap, not widen it. They lead with empathy, understanding that true leadership is not about domination, but about service. They lift others up instead of pushing them down. They listen, they empower, and they make decisions not just for their own benefit, but for the well-being of those around them. The way someone handles power also shows up in the smallest ways. Do they interrupt people in conversations because they think their words matter more? Do they expect special treatment simply because of their title or status? Do they dismiss others' opinions because they assume they already know best? These subtle behaviors may seem insignificant, but they reveal everything about how a person views their own importance in relation to others. And let's talk about how someone treats those who have no power over them. Do they still show respect to the people who serve them, who work under them, who can't do anything for them. A truly strong and ethical person does not wield power like a weapon. They hold it with responsibility, knowing that their influence carries weight and impact. Power in the wrong hands is dangerous, but power in the right hands can change lives. It can create opportunities, build bridges, and inspire change. The question is not whether someone has power, but how they choose to use it. Because at the end of the day, power is not the real test. Character is. And the ones who lead with honor, humility, and a heart for others, they are the ones who leave a legacy that lasts far beyond their title or position. So if you really want to see someone's true character, don't just listen to their words. Watch their actions. Notice how they treat the unseen, how they rise from setbacks, how they speak of others, what they do when no one's looking, and how they handle power. Because at the end of the day, character isn't who we pretend to be, it's who we are when the mask comes off. Thank you.